3 years ago when I turned 20 years old, I had the opportunity to buy my attainable dream car, a C5 Corvette Z06. It was hit by a deer, it had low miles, and it was a one-owner car, and I rebuilt that car from the ground up, and it is truly incredible the state that it's in right now. And since then, I've become kind of a Corvette connoisseur. I absolutely love the brand of the Chevrolet Corvette, and I've had the experience to drive almost every single one of them, but one of the few that I have not driven is the absolute monster that is sitting behind me. Which is this C7 Corvette Z06. We are in a time where I can't scroll through Instagram on my phone and not see an article on the new ZR1X. 1250 horsepower, crazy fast Nürburgring time, the car's insane. However, if we go back in time to when this car launched, it still is the car that I think wants to kill you most, right under the C7 ZR1. However, unlike the C7 ZR1, this one's attainable. Under $70,000 you can purchase this car. So today, we're gonna review it. Hello everybody and welcome to Performance on Wheels. My name is Austin. My dad Todd and I, we make all types of different car videos on all types of different cars. Now recently, you guys have really been enjoying our older car review series. However, 97% of the people that have really been enjoying our older car review series have yet to hit subscribe. So please support this father-son team so we can continue making great videos like these ones.
Earlier this year, my son and I were looking for the most engaging, thrilling, call it maybe even car that might kill you. And what we came up with was a 2017 Exomotive Exocet with an L33 5.3 liter V8 with a little supercharger up front there. This thing is a riot. But now that one summer is gone with that Exomotive, we don't think it's gonna go anywhere, but what we do think is another car is gonna enter the garage. The C7 Z06 is definitely one of those cars that has been on our list, and after today, it might be just a few notches higher.
This thing is an absolute animal compared to my C5. I love the way this car drives. Now the C5 just has the slightest bit of delay when you go into turn on engagement, where the C7 is just so direct. The steering feel is just incredible. However, there's one thing that I'm just really not a huge fan of, and I'm not trying to be some automatic hater. I love myself a good dual clutch transmission or just a great responding transmission, but I just unfortunately cannot greatly promote the 8-speed that is inside of the C7. It's just not that engaging. The paddles, they have a couple of a second delay, even in its most aggressive drive setting, like I have it in right now. Yeah, it shifts really freaking fast when it gets into its performance shift setting and you're driving it really aggressively. But when you're wanting to just play around with his paddles, I mean, I don't know if you guys can hear the click versus shift ratio. It's just not instantaneous. And to me, I lose engagement from that. So when pursuing a C7, I would go after the manual transmission just for the more engaging driving standpoint. I'm not saying this isn't a fast transmission. It's just not that fun. Now, I do want to talk about one thing. Both of us have a ton of miles behind the wheel of a C7 Corvette Grand Sport. So let's talk about what it's like driving this Corvette Grand Sport compared to the Z06. The Grand Sport, I got so used to it in a hurry. It is such a capable car around the track.
Fantastic car.
But one of the things I love most about the Grand Sport is no matter where the heck you are, you can pretty much put your foot to the floor and the car goes where you point it. You're not dealing with the back end swinging out. You're not dealing with the car wanting to kill you. It might lightly move a little bit in the rear end if you're down at a low speed, like under 40 miles an hour, under 30 miles an hour. But in reality, that car is an unbelievably easy car to control. Where you have to be careful with the C7 is no matter where the heck you are in the rev range, you can break the back tires loose. I mean, it gets squirrely in a hurry, this car. And the C7 isn't just a fast car in a straight line by any means. I mean, yes, it can do this. But it can also stop all that power in a hurry. It has 6 piston Brembos in the front. It has 4 piston Brembos in the back. It uses a 2-piece rotor to help with dissipating that cooling, so it can just continue doing stop after stop after stop. And there was a carbon ceramic option as well, but even with the steel brakes that we're using right now, it experiences the exact same stopping distance as the carbon ceramics. Just 90 feet, 60 to 0. One of the fastest ever recorded by Motor Trend, sitting just closely behind the McLaren Senna, which is like 92 or 93 feet.
Just to cover some of the main reliability concerns associated with the C7 Z06, let's go through a few of those bullet points. First off, oil consumption. The LT4s love to drink a little, and sometimes they'll send the oil straight into the supercharger. Pop the lid and look for any oil residue. Next, listen for the supercharger bearing noise or belt flutter. For the manuals, test the second gear shift. Notchy, grinding, or just plain stubborn? The synchros are a known weak spot. For the automatics, there's a couple issues, but if you feel any shuddering or flare between gears, that 8-speed likes fresh fluid and hates heat. Talking about heat, the 2015 to the 2017 model years had some insufficient cooling issues, primarily associated with the 8-speed auto and the 2015 to 2017 model years. It was a big enough issue that GM actually extended the warranty specific to that issue. There are some fixes for it, so don't be too scared of it.
And look, don't let some of those issues scare you, especially if you're cross-shopping this with some of its competitors. This is the most reliable car in its class, 100%. And the cool thing about these cars is, since they're so mass produced and there's so many people of such a wide variety of age ranges on these, it means that there's videos everywhere on how to work on them.
I'm glad you brought up mass produced, because it wouldn't be a Corvette video if we didn't talk about how rare this Corvette was. This Corvette, this C7 Z06, only produced in 2015, was this color. The color is crystal red tint coat, and this one in particular is one of 400 that had that color sprayed on it.
Just rare.
And in the coupe form, it was somewhere right around one of 300. So this is a pretty rare vet that you're seeing in today's video. And I'm sure if we broke down the amazing saddle color interior, we're probably down somewhere in the one of 100, maybe even one of 90 range.
See, I'm glad that you brought up that this is a coupe, because that is the other thing that makes this car an absolute star. And one thing I think a lot of people severely overlook when they're shopping for this car. See, the C6 generation, the Z06s, to keep the chassis as rigid as possible, it was a complete one-piece structured body. However, they managed to figure out how to change that on the C7 variation to where the roof was not needed for the rigidity like it was on the previous model years. And it is 100% removable on every single variation of the C7 Corvette. It's just a couple of clips, you pop the roof off, and you can throw it in the trunk. I think people really overlook that. Even my uncle that owned a Grand Sport, he was not interested at all in that feature, and it ended up being his absolute favorite thing, and he would never drive the car without the roof off. I think it is just so sweet that with just a couple of tabs, you pull the roof off and you throw it in the trunk, and you don't have that super lousy looking soft top like that came on the C7. Over on the C8, it switched over to that hard top convertible, but if you want the convertible experience, it's the same thing as the convertible on the coupe. Now, a quick word from today's channel sponsor. Now, obviously, I'm a huge car enthusiast, so finding a ring that was kind of up the car enthusiast route was a big deal for me when I just got married last weekend. And Manly Bands has the perfect selection of rings for real men. Now, if you're talking about rings that are made from cool items like dinosaur bone, or even like actual metal or car parts, or like the one that I picked out, the 49er, which is actual gold nuggets that is all around the actual band, they just make the coolest rings around. And if you guys are trying to figure out what size ring that you are, they will actually send you a free ring sizer kit. So if you're interested in finding one of the coolest rings that are made for men, be sure to check out our link down in the description below.
Since we're talking about the body lines, it's only fair that we do hit on the looks briefly of the C7 Z06, which is a completely menacing car. It doesn't matter what angle you look at this car from, you can tell that it is engineered to mean business. In addition, what is fun about the C7 Z06 is there are so many features that are direct carryovers or is carried over as closely as possible from the race team over at IMSA. They go out and they win races with these cars. One of the best teams that's been out there with the C7 generation, just to add that note, and they take that R&D and they bring as much possible into this amazing track machine known as the Z06. I love looking at the Z06 from the back. You can see those 335 wide tires. They're huge, they're massive, which is incredible. And if you can actually get the traction down, this is a low 11-second quarter-mile car straight from the factory with trap speeds pushing close to 130 miles per hour.
Now, I do keep talking about how much of an animal this car is, but it can be driven relatively tame. Now, it's not like our F-Type SVR by any means. It still is a bit more rowdy than that, but it's still a very comfortable car. The trunk in this thing, the hatch in this thing, I should say, is massive. You can fit your golf clubs back there. You can fit suitcases back there. It's a very, very large trunk compartment that does go through to the cabin, so you can fit large things all the way through, which makes it relatively practical. And on the inside, when driving normally, it's such an easy car to drive. You can lounge back here. You can get yourself nice and comfortable, and it's easily a cruiser. And with that 4-cylinder deactivation, you can see upwards of 30 miles per gallon in this thing with premium fuel, which is just incredible. So yes, it's an incredible track car. It has tons of performance, but it can be driven quite nice. And with the Magna Ride that's in this car, its personality switch and its normal driving mode to its track driving mode really changes just how stiff this thing is, and it can really be a relatively soft car in its normal driving mode. It's still somewhat stiff, but it rides quite nice. Now the Corvette we're looking at today is the cream of the crop. The MSRP on this car was $97,000. Wow. Just totally decked out, 3LT interior. This is top of the line C7 Corvette interior right now. This is as nice as it gets. You get carbon fiber all over the place, and you get your tan leather wrapped around yourself. You get yourself a nice leather dashboard, no plastic to be found. Alcantara all the way up through our headliner. What are your thoughts?
So in 10 years, it has depreciated $35,000. This could be yours for right around 65 grand. It only has 15,000 miles on it, so it's technically like a brand new car. It's quite impressive to see the wear that hasn't really happened, with the exception of the center console there where people's elbows go. There is a little bit of deformation there, as could be expected in 10 years and 15,000 miles of elbows, I guess. But yeah, it's a very nice place to be. I'm not gonna lie, at 6 feet tall, I don't like the way I feel over in the passenger side. I just feel a little claustrophobic over here. It's very cab forward, meaning I do feel like I'm up over the hood of the car. I feel like I've got great visibility. Over in the driver's seat, what's that all about?
You know, it is really enjoyable. I am very comfortable. It feels very driver oriented. It's just a comfortable spot to be in here, you know? You got the heated and cooled seats for both you and me. You got places to put things behind this screen. You have some pretty nice working technology with every single performance monitor you could possibly want, showing every single temperature that's going on. And one of my favorite things about the Corvette is its PDR, its performance data recorder that records the road out in front of you. Whether you're just wanting to record your day-to-day driving basis and use it as a dash cam that's completely built in and flush with the car, or go use it on the track where it records your G meter and your tachometer. It is honestly one of the best systems on the market when it comes to recording what's going on there. If you guys are interested in purchasing the C7 Z06, be sure to check out the link down in the description below to Apple Ford Apple Valley, who provided the C7 Z06 that we used in today's video.
Thank you so much for tuning into the video today as we checked out the legendary C7 Z06. What do you think? Is this going to end up in your garage, or should we take this one home with us? We'll see you guys next time.